Chamber. The House of Representatives has summoned Federal Ministry of Environment, National Emergency Management Agency, and Hydrological Services Agency to appear before the Committees on Environment, Emergency and Disaster Preparedness and Water Resources. The House also called on the Federal Ministry of Environment and state governments to initiate evacuation plans for communities along flood plains, ensuring access to temporary shelters, medical assistance, and other necessary support for affected populations. This resolution followed the adoption of a motion introduced by Honorable Sesi Wingan.
It is crucial that relevant authorities immediately implement strategies to mitigate the predicted disaster, including evacuation plans, provision of relief materials, and ensuring post-flood recovery efforts are coordinated effectively. The House resolves to 1. Summon the Federal Ministry of Environment, the National Emergency Management Agency, and the Hydrological Services Agency to appear before this Honorable House to explain what precautionary measures are being implemented to safeguard lives and properties in the predicted flood zones. Call on the Federal Ministry of Environment and state governments to activate evacuation protocols for communities along floodplains and ensure that affected populations have access to temporary shelters, medical services, and other forms of support. 3. The House urged the Federal Ministry of Works and Housing and the Ministry of Water Resources to carry out an immediate assessment of drainage system and waterways in flood-prone areas and reduce blockages that could worsen flooding. Direct that the federal government, through the relevant ministries and agencies, to collaborate with the state government to enhance their disaster preparedness capabilities and also ensure the quick deployment of rescue teams and relief materials and medical assistance where needed.
In a separate resolution, the House of Representatives urged the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, to relocate its local government offices to secure neutral locations and to include adequate provisions in the 2025 budget for this project.
The House also notes that the Independent National Electoral Commission has a critical role in conducting free, fair, and credible elections. The House further notes that majority of the INEC's local government offices are currently situated within local government headquarters or otherwise. Further note that the majority, the House is aware that this is potentially hampering and compromising the independence of INEC in the conduct of elections. The House observes that this proximity exposes INEC to manipulations and control by interest groups, particularly in areas dominated by a single political party. Concerned that this impedes INEC impartiality as enshrined in Section 6 of the Electoral Act 2022. Cognizance of the need to maintain public trust and confidence in the electoral process, the House resolves as follows: to urge INEC to relocate its local government offices to secure neutral locations and make adequate provisions in the 2025 budget estimates to accommodate the projects.
The Chamber has also urged the Ministry of Aviation and Aerospace to host the issuance of airstrip licenses to private individuals and organizations and to revoke any existing approvals. This move is intended to strengthen national security. He noted that the security agencies have struggled to trace the sources of these supplies, which fuel insurgency, kidnapping, and separatist violence across Nigeria. Honorable Gumi warned that allowing private airstrips could facilitate the illegal importation of weapons and drugs, exacerbating the country's security crisis and hindering socio-economic development.
Recall that in September 2014, a prominent religious leader was linked with a private jet used to convey $9.3 million in cash to South Africa for purchase of arms. The private jet was seized by the South African authorities, which has two people, Nigerian and an Israeli, on board. Concerned that the current experience of security challenge that Nigeria is facing through illegal importation, proliferation of firearms and ammunition, importation of illicit hard drugs, coupled with the inability of our security agencies to pinpoint the source of supply of weapons to insurgents, kidnappers, and separatists that have massacred thousands of Nigerians across the country. Worried that granting airstrip to private individuals and organizations will aid illegal importation of firearms and hard drugs into the country, thus heightening insurgency, kidnapping, banditry, and other vices that are seriously affecting the socio-economic development of the country. The House resolves to, 1, call on the Ministry of Aviation and Aerospace to stop issuance of airstrip licenses to private individuals and organizations, and also withdraw approvals already granted to private individuals and organizations with a view to safeguarding national security.
In another development, House of